Right now at 6, the city of Nevada considers a tax increase for a new aquatic center.
And we've got another hazy start to the day. Some patchy fog again in some locations. It's going to be warm, muggy, maybe an isolated storm or two. Look at that forecast, get you out the door. Coming up.
Plus, candidates for sheriff in Vernon County turn out for a meet and greet with the public.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is a finally Friday here in the 4 states, coming to an end on the last full week of July. August starts next week.
Yes, it does. But a Friday's always welcome here.
Friday's always a great day. And we've talked about it before. Yes, sometimes you have a good Monday, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every so often, Mondays can be good. Not very often, but sometimes they can be. And hopefully your Friday is going to be fantastic for you. Hopefully it's off to a fantastic start. And the weather cooperating once again this morning. We're going to start with a live look from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. We're getting a little more daylight if you look, especially right above City Hall in the Frisco building. You can kind of already see, get a little bit of that haze out there again that we're going to have to contend with. But I know it helps with drivers, though, because it's helped kind of block some of that sunlight so it's not just right in your face the whole time. Our camera 7th and Range line also looking pretty good this morning, and same from the MoDOT camera down at 32nd and Range line. Not a bad start to the day. Our future track for I want to say, if this is Friday, this is probably the 4th day now in a row, is going to show us that opportunity for an isolated shower or storm as we head into the afternoon and early evening hours. But again, most of us will remain dry, but clouds begin to increase tonight, and that's ahead of increasing rain chances for our Saturday, which is going to be a good thing. 70 in Joplin, 69 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures right about where they should be this morning. We're in the upper 60s and low 70s to start the day. And remember, our average low is about 70, so we're not that far off of where we should be. And same with our highs today. We're going to be relatively close to average, upper 80s, maybe some low 90s. We should be about 91. Again, partly cloudy skies heading into the afternoon and evening, maybe an isolated shower or storm. Reminder, most of us dry, though. However, most of us will not be dry tomorrow. We have a few extra chances of scattered showers and storms and at least briefly cooler temperatures. We'll go over those details in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes.
All right, Chris, thanks. A crash in Barton County claims the life of a Rogersville, Missouri woman. 30-year-old Aubryn Dudley was traveling south on State Route T when she failed to stop at the intersection of Missouri 126. Her car then traveled under a tractor trailer heading east. The driver of the semi, Patrick Wright of Houston, Texas, was not injured. The Missouri State Highway Patrol major crash team was called in to help with the investigation. Missouri Governor Mike Parson weighed in on the crash, saying in part, quote, Aubryn had been a respected state team member with the DSS for nearly 5 years. Aubryn's heart for her children and public service inspires us all to live lives that make a positive difference to those around us. The governor went on to say he and his wife are keeping her family in their prayers. Yesterday, authorities responded to reports of an SUV crash on I-44 in Main Street in Joplin. When authorities arrived, they found a Jeep Grand Wagoneer crashed into the trees. JPD said the SUV was westbound on I-44 when it took the off-ramp to South Main at high speed. The SUV left the ramp and jumped both northbound lanes of Main Street, landed, and then rammed off the southbound lanes into the trees. Authorities measured the distance about 575 feet. First responders transported the male driver to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The Vernon County Clerk's Office held a forum for sheriff candidates to answer questions. Nevada held the forum in the Franklin P. Norman Community Center, and the 3 candidates answered questions about mental health, community safety, and crime management and explained their platform to the attendees.
What we face in our area right now is a big uptick in mental health issues. Our jails are dealing with that. The entire state and country are dealing with the overflux of people who are dealing with mental health issues, and because of that, the mental health system is busting at the seams. And as a result of that, the only other place to put them is to throw these people in jails. Our jail is not necessarily equipped for an overflux of mental health issues.
The primaries for this race will take place on August 6th. Also happening on August 6th, the city of Nevada, Missouri is asking voters to decide a half-cent sales tax. The revenue from the sales tax would generate approximately $1 million per year. It would be a permanent change and would fund a new aquatic center for the town, as well as increase the starting salaries for the town's police and fire departments. The city says their emergency responders are significantly underpaid compared to other cities in the area.
I was a policeman in my younger days, and my starting salary back in 1973 was the same as the salary starting here. And so, I mean, that's a big disparity. Now, granted, I was at a bigger police department, but still, the fact that we're known best for training police officers to go to other cities, it's critical that we keep a stable police force, and we have an excellent police department, and they deserve whatever that we can get them.
If passed, the sales tax would go into effect January 1st, 2025. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Video game voice actors in Hollywood are set to go on strike today over AI concerns. Plus, Vice President Kamala Harris accepted the endorsement of another major labor union. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Friday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning. The Ohio Supreme Court says if you order boneless wings, you should expect some bones in it. That is the opinion of the court when it ruled against a man Thursday who sued a restaurant in 2017 after swallowing a boneless wing that had a bone in it. According to court documents, the man said the bone lodged in his esophagus, which became infected. He said that infection led to additional ongoing medical issues. In 2017, the man lost the case in trial court, which said that it's common sense to know that a meat dish could have a bone fragment in it. The man appealed that decision to the Ohio Supreme Court in 2023, and on Thursday, it agreed with the lower court. So far, no word yet from the plaintiff on the court's Thursday ruling. People aren't popping champagne bottles like they used to. The world's leading luxury group, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, reported a 15% drop in champagne sales for the first half of 2024. That number was compared to last year's sales. LVMH executives blame unhappy customers. They say maybe the current global situation concerning politics and the economy could be a factor. However, LVMH's champagne volumes remain above pre-pandemic levels. Sparkling and still wine sales were up 16%, while total revenue from champagne and wines were down 12%. Video game voice actors and performers in Hollywood are set to go on strike today over artificial intelligence concerns. Yesterday, SAG-AFTRA announced the strike of the interactive media agreement that covers video game performers. The union said the strike is over failed labor contracts, AI concerns, and pay. The strike comes after months of negotiations with major video game companies. The IMA agreement expired in November of 2022 and was extended on a monthly basis during those talks. A judge in Alabama has found former Kansas City Chiefs defensive lineman Isaiah Buggs guilty of animal cruelty charges. Authorities arrested and charged Buggs in May. Last week, he was sentenced to 365 days of hard labor and ordered to serve 60 days with credit from July 16th. The judge suspended the remaining 300 days of Buggs' sentence for 2 years pending good behavior. Buggs cannot possess or be around firearms and can't own dogs or cats. He's appealed the sentencing. Buggs also has a preliminary hearing in August in a domestic violence case stemming from a June arrest. Vice President Kamala Harris is capping off her first week as a 2024 presidential candidate with a big endorsement from Barack and Michelle Obama. In a statement, the former president and first lady said Harris, quote, has exactly what it takes to win this election and deliver for the American people. As the 2024 race heats up, Harris and former President Donald Trump are now sparring over when the two could face off on the debate stage. Jared Hill has the latest from New York.
This is going to be historic.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you.
A major new endorsement for the likely Democratic nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris. Former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama saying in a statement they would do everything they can to elect Harris to the White House.
I am running to become President of the United States of America.
Thursday, the Vice President accepted the endorsement of the nation's largest teachers union. Also yesterday, her first face-to-face with a world leader since entering the presidential race less than a week ago, pressing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for a Gaza deal.
It is time for this war to end.
Former President Donald Trump says he'll meet with Netanyahu in Mar-a-Lago later today. As Trump adjusts his focus from Biden to Harris, national polls show the two already running neck and neck just days into her candidacy.
She's bad news. She's a radical.
Harris says she's ready to debate Trump.
I think the voters deserve to see the split screen that exists in this race.
Earlier this week, Trump suggested he was open to more than one debate with Harris. Months ago, he said he'd debate Biden anytime, any place. But last night, the Trump campaign released a statement saying it would be inappropriate to finalize a debate before the Democrats formally decide their nominee. Harris hit back, tweeting, quote, "What happened to anytime, any place?" Jared Hill, CBS News.
Former President Trump said yesterday that he has no regrets choosing Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate. It comes as Vance is under fire for comments made 3 years ago in which he referred to Harris and several other Democrats as, quote, childless cat ladies. Celebrities like Jennifer Aniston have pushed back on the comments, and so has second gentleman Doug Emhoff's wife and ex-wife and children. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're taking a look quickly at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, and nothing is out there as we get our day underway. We do have that opportunity for an isolated shower or storm a little later today. We're going to talk about that and some slightly better rain chances on our Saturday when we come back.
Well, summer is roller coaster season in Minnesota, and there's one up north that provides a different kind of experience. It's the Timber Twister, and it's fueled by pure gravity. John Lauritsen reports.
We love looking at the different seasons and how we excel in it.
When people think of Spirit Mountain in Duluth, they think downhill skiing, but that's not the only downhill thrill you'll find here.
The full name is the Timber Twister Alpine Coaster.
The Twister has been on Spirit Mountain for nearly 15 years. It's more than a half-mile long, and it takes about 7 minutes to reach the end.
In order to go forward, you push forward. In order to slow down, you pull back, and to stop, you really pull back.
Okay. You're in your own car, controlling your own speed, zipping through the beautiful Duluth hillside. From the very top to the very bottom is about 500 vertical feet. Unlike traditional roller coasters, there's no machine involved, just gravity. And instead of speeding through an amusement park, you're speeding through a forest with beautiful North Shore views along the way.
The thing that differentiates the coaster is the fact that you are actually attached to the rails. Amazing views, you're in control of it.
Once you get to the bottom, a conveyor belt brings you back to the top, and it moves slowly, so you get a more laid-back view compared to your trip down.
I think it's fun because you can go as fast as you want, and if you even want to go faster, you can lean into the corners and pump the rollers, and yeah, it's fun.
I really like the twisty tones things. It's just really fun.
And it draws a crowd. People have come from across the country just to say they rode the Twister. Visitors quickly learn that a day here is full of ups and downs.
The only one in Minnesota. Alpine coasters, they actually have a following that people will go around throughout the country to find other alpine coasters.
Hey!
It's a blast, and we love to welcome folks here.
The Timber Twister can reach speeds of up to 25 miles an hour. It's open through the third week of October. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of haze out there again this morning. Some patchy fog here and there, but not nearly as widespread as it has been the last few days. Could be another warm, muggy day, another opportunity for an isolated shower or storm, and better storm chances for us on our Saturday. We'll look at all those details in the full forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 622 coming up on 623 on this finally Friday here in the 4 states. We're going to start with the future track as we are going to see another round, of isolated pop-up showers and thunderstorms as we end the afternoon and into the early evening hours. But again, most of us expected to remain dry out there. However, clouds will increase late this evening and overnight, and then by about 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, and this is the odd part for us, is this is rotating in from the east to the west. Usually any of our storms come either from the northwest, southwest, or the west, but this time they're going to be moving east to west, and we'll have scattered showers and thunderstorms as we get our Saturday underway. Now, these are going to be here with us through most of the day. You may not necessarily see rain all day, but you'll have scattered chances for showers and storms across the region into the late evening hours out there. A strong storm or two is possible, but the good news is nothing at this point is really looking like any significant severe weather. But we do, as you see, have better rain chances on our Saturday. Late Saturday into very early Sunday, Future Track does show maybe a few pop-up storms overnight in our far northern counties. And once we get past that, our Sunday is going to be warm but normal, and that's going to be about it. It'll be dry otherwise. 70 in Joplin right now. Winds are calm. It is certainly muggy feeling out there. And around the region, our temperatures right about where they should be, give or take a degree or two. Average lows right around 70. Most of us at that point. Some of us low 70s, some of us upper 60s, but not that far from where we are supposed to be today. And that's how our highs today will be as well. We'll have sunny skies as we go through the morning. We'll be about the mid 80s by 11 o'clock. Heading into the afternoon, we're going upper 80s, low 90s. So again, right on par for this time of year. And we'll have those partly cloudy skies, maybe an isolated shower or storm. Heading into the evening, again, those isolated shower storms, they'll wrap up like they have, but will stay mostly cloudy, and we'll continue that overnight with lows right about where they should be, about 70. Tomorrow, though, thanks to all the extra cloud cover and the extra rain chances, most of us are going to be about the mid 80s across the area. So it's going to be a little bit cooler than what we normally are for our Saturday. So not bad. We go back to normal for Sunday, so it gets hot, clouds gradually clearing, partly cloudy Monday. Then that's when we start to see this kick off. We start to see temperatures increasing, and as we head into August, that's when they really take off. We're going to start seeing the lower 100s again as we close out next week. And as you see, there's pop-up storm chances toward the end of next week. And you know what that means, though. It's going to be muggy out there, which means our heat index values could be anywhere from 105 and in some cases maybe as high as 110. So do be prepared for the dangerous heat to return. We've had a nice break the last couple of weeks, but it is coming to an end. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with a check of Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, dementia among people under 65 is more common than previously thought. A study in Finland finds 20 in 100,000 people from age 30 to 64 have early onset dementia. That's nearly double the number of cases in earlier studies. The study's authors say it's possible greater awareness of dementia is one reason for the higher numbers. Well, physical training can improve the quality of life of breast cancer patients. A German study found patients who did supervised exercises to improve their balance, muscle strength, and endurance had far less fatigue than patients who didn't exercise. They also experienced a significant drop in pain and shortness of breath. Well, most people aren't quite ready to get their medical diagnoses from an AI. A study in Germany gave 2,000 participants the exact same medical advice, but some were told it came from doctors, while others were told it came from an AI chatbot. Patients were less likely to trust the medical recommendations if they believe an AI gave it to them. Despite that, some doctors report having problems with patients self-diagnosing themselves using AI. Well, Paris is officially open for the 2024 Summer Olympics. And as the battle for gold gets underway, one challenge athletes will face is keeping their bodies cool in the heat. Bradley Blackburn shows us how Team USA is turning to innovative sports medicine technology to help give them an edge.
In Paris, the stage is set for the Summer Games, and for these Olympics, many venues are outdoors, where along with the iconic scenery comes the heat.
And that's why some members of Team USA are saying hello to a device called the Cool Mitt.
With the push of a button, it circulates 54-degree water near the hand to cool blood that then returns to the heart. Originally created with the military in mind, it sells for about $1,000 and was developed by Stanford scientist Dr. Craig Heller.
During intense competition, you may reach a body temperature of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. By using the Cool Mitt, you're going to be able to pull that down from 100 down to the high 98s in a matter of minutes.
Heller's research shows blood vessels in our hands are one of the most efficient ways to cool core temperature, which can improve muscle recovery and athletic performance.
If you can eliminate the fatigue, you increase the work volume. You increase the work volume, you get a huge conditioning effect.
We will be traveling with some of these devices.
Cody Bickley is director of high performance with USA Wrestling. We spoke before he headed to France with the team, which has been using the device.
Easy to use, quick, and helps our athletes recover quicker, which essentially leads to hopefully performing a little bit better.
Other gear makers are also focused on body temperature. Nike and Hyperice have developed cooling vests and boots.
Do you think that managing heat, Cody, could be one of the keys to getting gold?
It's for sure a part of it.
More ways to beat the heat as Olympians go for gold. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
The Stanford scientists say the technology has broad applications not just for athletes, but for anyone who works in the heat, like firefighters or welders. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, a local organization in Joplin is connecting homeless people with helpful resources.
And we've got this, another hazy start to the day. You can see the sun glow back behind the trees. Got some patchy fog here and there, and it's going to be another warm and muggy day. Latest on that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
Plus, the Better Business Bureau in Joplin has some advice for parents shopping for back-to-school supplies.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:32. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's a finally Friday here in the 4 states. And again, closing out July. I mean, I know we've still got a few days left. This is the last full week of July.
Yes, about halfway through the summer.
Yeah.
Just about.
And we talked about this yesterday. KMBC in Kansas City, was discussing that that was one of the coolest Julys on record for Kansas City, and we're pretty close to that as well. We've been relatively below normal for an extended period, which
we're so lucky for.
Yeah, compared to June, we spent most of the month well above normal out there. So we've had a nice break from some of that intense summer heat.
Been a roller coaster.
Yeah, it's been a slow one, but it's definitely been a roller coaster ride. Unfortunately, that roller coaster is about to go back up. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Let's start with this. That's the haze outside again this morning across the area. So not the most beautiful looking sunrise we can capture. And it's given the sun, boy, if these trees weren't in the way, look at that just ominous kind of orange glow from the sun out there this morning. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line, also looking pretty good this morning. Folks getting their day underway. And just like we have been for the last 4 days, we have that opportunity for an isolated pop-up shower storm. Now, as we've mentioned before, The future track, because there's not something specific, there's not a cold front, dry line, anything like that actually kicking off these storms, it does have a hard time plotting them. And we've seen them yesterday. They actually started considerably earlier. We had a few pop-up showers in our northern counties as early as about 7:50 in the morning. So we'll see exactly how they pan out, but nonetheless, that opportunity for a straight shower storm will be possible as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. We're sitting at 70 in Joplin and 69 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures around the region, give or take a degree or two, most of us right about where we're supposed to be. 70 our average low, and take a look at all these 70s out there. We do have some upper 60s and technically a low 70, but otherwise, like I said, we're not that far off from where we should be. As we go through the rest of the day, though, again, clouds increase. We'll go partly cloudy this afternoon. A couple of stray showers or storms possible. Highs about where they should be, give or take a degree or two, upper 80s, low 90s. Clouds increase this evening, though, ahead of slightly better rain chances for our Saturday. We'll take a look at that, plus that big heat warm-up that's on the way in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll check in with you soon, Chris. Well, it's the time of year where you probably noticed this, webworms building big nests in your trees. Now, these caterpillars don't harm your tree, they're just eating foliage in there. And they don't eat enough leaves to cause major damage to your trees. Most build nests on black walnut trees, but if you don't like the sight of them, it's pretty simple to get rid of them.
You want to get rid of these, don't use pesticides or anything like that. You could just take a stick or some kind of long handled tool, break up the web. They're pretty sturdy webs, but break up the web. That'll disperse those caterpillars. The birds of those trees will love you for giving them another food source.
Keep in mind and an eye on your trees because webworms continue to feed until sometime around mid-fall. The Economic Security Corporation hosted Project Homeless Connect yesterday. The nonprofit joined forces with Salvation Army and Mercy Health System for an event promoting support for the homeless community in Joplin. The project provides plenty of resources and services, as well as a chance to network and build community connections.
The resources are still pretty much the same. I think there are more. How do I put this? More of the resources are expanding what they do, which is helpful. But I mean, the homeless numbers are growing, and they're growing everywhere. They're growing in Joplin.
The Economic Security Corporation also provides utility and housing assistance for residents in need. Well, Pittsburgh residents yesterday voiced their thoughts on the city's plans for a neighborhood map. The city's Neighborhood Advisory Council hosted an open house at Memorial Auditorium where residents could drop by, learn about the plans for the map and cleanup opportunities, and give their input. The proposed map is designed to increase local pride and foster growth in the community.
The neighborhood map and defining some boundaries and names for each neighborhood is the first step in a process where we're going to start connecting our neighbors together, start forming some networks to help neighbors out if they need support. But it's also going to start getting neighbors to work together.
And I think it's such a great idea, kind of sprung out of wanting to clean up the city, and I think we can do that better when we know our neighbors and have a better sense of identity with our neighborhood. So just excited about it.
The Advisory Council is planning a cleanup event in the northeast quadrant of the city this fall. Well, parents have a list of things to worry about before school season starts, and one of those things is spending too much money on school supplies. The Better Business Bureau wants to make sure parents get the most out of their money this year before they open their wallets online or in a brick and mortar store. Their advice for your budget: grab those big ticket items like a computer first.
Well, prioritize. So if you know you're going to need, say, a new computer, but also notebooks, all that kind of like easier stuff, smaller stuff, go for the big ticket items first, just in case they sell out. You don't want to miss that opportunity. So snag that laptop, whatever kind of, maybe a new cell phone, whatever you might need, do that first. Prioritize those big ticket items.
They also say if a place says it's hosting a back-to-school sale, not everything may be included in that sale. Well, fair season in southeast Kansas rolls on. Visitors can head out to the Allen County Fair in Iola, Kansas to take in a rodeo, live music, games, and craft fairs. This free event also showcases local businesses.
It's been in my family for, as long as I've known. My mom did it and all of her siblings. So we just kind of grew up going around it, and so kind of tradition. So I wanted to get into it.
This marks the 131st edition of the Allen County Fair. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. If it's Friday, you know what that means. We've got Shannon Becker live in studio to help us close out the week with his big 3 news stories. And we have a hot and partly cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning to you, Shannon. Happy Friday.
Thank you, and you as well. Let's take a look at the live and local stories, what's happening this week. KOAM News Now. It was a tan SUV, started as a crash in the median on I-44 just near Sarcoxy, and it became a 20-mile police chase down I-44. It actually ended in Mount Vernon. This is the actual chase. We were catching it on the MoDOT cameras as it was happening live on Wednesday.
Yes.
This gentleman here, now arrested. I think he's charged with 15 different things.
Wow.
Most of all, though, it's a felony DWI, felony fleeing, they call it as well. There were Lawrence County deputies, Missouri State Highway Patrol. He also rammed a patrol trooper's car. Trooper was not injured.
Okay, good.
But he was definitely on something, obviously.
Yes.
Court papers are online in our latest article. Our number 2 story, KOAM News Now, Joplin News First. A fire this last Friday in what used to be, we're talking probably about 80 to 100 years ago, this was a mine supply store when they would mine in the northwest part of Joplin.
Oh, interesting.
It became a woodworking shop years and years later. In fact, just closed about 2010. So since then, it's been a warehouse for storage. They're still investigating the cause of the fire, the Joplin Fire Marshal. Amazing. I'm not bragging, but that's pretty amazing video. Like we were up there really close. It was really fascinating to see them work so diligently, work so organized, and get that fire out, Joplin Fire Department. And our number 1 story, tragedy, Barton County. We were there gathering information as an SUV, as a car, drove underneath a tractor trailer. Young lady, 30-year-old from Rogersville, Missouri. She worked for the Social Services Department in the state of Missouri. Even, in fact, yesterday, Governor Parson had released a statement expressing the condolences for her family. She's a big advocate for adoption. Her and her husband, who's a trooper from Missouri State Highway Patrol, adopted 5 children. More on this story, and also she went viral in 2019, a story about ramen noodles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all that. Check it out, KOAM News Now, and she will be remembered. And then our bonus story of the week. Have you had a chance, I know you're new here, to go to the drive-in?
I haven't
You'll have to check it out.
I should.
Because Route 66 Drive-In, 66 in Carthage, is very historic. This is the original neon and the original sign.
It's incredible,
you don't get to see that all the time,
No, you
especially
don't.
on 66. So this weekend, it's going to be busy again. Everybody's like, well, they got sold out. Well, the movie starts at 9:15, but people will start getting in line at 4 or 5 o'clock.
For Twisters to see, wow,
tonight.
That's incredible.
So it's going to run, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, it's continuing to run. Last weekend when I was there was a storm in Newton County, and you could see behind the drive-in theater sign, the clouds and the lightning and stuff.
Ominous.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, wasn't it? So the second movie is an adult thriller. You probably won't want to keep the kids up for that one. They could always sleep in the back of the car or something. It's our bonus story, KOAM News Now, this weekend.
Exciting. All righty. Well, Shannon, again, thank you so much for being with us this morning, as always, and for all that you do for the community. Good to have you. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Time for some Friday birthdays here in the 4 states, and we are starting in Nevada with Fisher Kate Hirschman, celebrating birthday number 2. Says, happy birthday, love mama and dada.
And over in Riverton, a happy 6th birthday to Katiana Bond.
And in Jasper, Jace Fosdick celebrating birthday number 7. Happy birthday, Jace.
And a happy 52nd birthday to Justin Moore over in Crestline.
And Gideon Buchanan celebrating number 46 in Jasper, actually having a Saturday birthday, so a happy early birthday to you, Gideon.
And a happy 5th anniversary to Heather and Kyle Tedlock over in Arma.
And in Joplin, Miller Tatum celebrating birthday number 13. Welcome to the teen years. Says happy birthday from your family.
And happy 40th birthday to Randy Treber over in Chanute. It says happy birthday from Mom, Ma and Pa, Gary, Sean, and Jimmy. We love you.
And last but certainly not least, we've got Michael Q. Haggerty in Frontenac celebrating another year wiser. A very happy birthday and anniversary to all of you on our list today. And if you want to celebrate with us, Elise, what should they do?
Yes, you can go and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen and to include the day of your celebration when submitting.
Absolutely. Make sure you do all of that. Let's take a look outside. This is our camera on the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. It is hazy once again across the area, so blocking that sunrise a bit. Our camera 7th and range line, good view of that haze and doing that same thing to the sun, kind of giving it that rectangle shape, at least from the camera's perspective, kind of giving it a rectangle-ish square kind of shape over there. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line looking good. Quite a few more cars on the road as folks get their finally Friday underway. And as we look at the KDOT camera 69 Kansas Crossing, kind of deserted right now. Here comes somebody, I think. Yeah, here comes someone. And I'm sure there will be a lot more folks out there on the road as the day progresses. Future Track, for the 4th day in a row, is going to show us the same thing. Some isolated showers and thunderstorms. Now, again, it's painting them in almost the exact same time every day. But as we noted yesterday and even a couple of days ago, we have seen them a bit earlier. A couple of days ago, Future Track had them between roughly 3 and 7. We saw some as early as the noon news. Yesterday, though, toward the end of our Fox morning show, about 7:50, 7:55, we saw a couple of isolated storms in our northern counties. So again, with these kinds of storms, there's not a specific trigger for them, and that's why the Future Track has a hard time picking up on them, because when we get severe weather or even just a good line of storms, we have a cold front, a dry line, a low pressure system, something that's actually triggering the storms. It's a lot easier to pick up on because there's a lot more information coming into the computer to determine what's going to happen. With the isolated storms, these pop-up showers and stuff, that just isn't anything triggering them specifically other than the heat of the day. So that's why it's always hit and miss, and it's not always going to be right where Future Track paints them out to be. Now tomorrow, though, it's going to be a little more accurate as we have a low pressure off to our southeast or southwest. By as early as 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're going to start with some isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. They're going to stick with us through the majority of Saturday, but as you can see, first off, you won't have rain across the area all day. You'll have breaks here and there, and not necessarily everyone will see rain, but we have better chances of that with that low starting to shift off to the northeast. And that's why these storms also initially coming from the east to the west, which is a little unusual for us, not a common movement for thunderstorms. And a strong storm or two may be possible, but in all honesty, the overall severe threat for Saturday at this point is extremely low. We're not looking at anything significant there. Then we'll start to clear by Saturday evening, but overnight we could see a couple of flare-ups of thunderstorms in our far northern counties, and that's going to be the end of that. Quick look at temperatures this morning, 70 in Joplin. It is muggy out there, and of course it is a bit hazy. Joplin reporting visibility at 7 miles. Winds are calm. Look at the fog tracker here on the side. Grove still dealing with some denser fog, less than 3 miles of visibility. We got some dense fog, Anderson, Cassville, and Iola as well. So if you're traveling this morning, do keep that in mind. Average low is 70. Most of us within a degree or two of that, if not right at that, upper 60s, a couple of low 70s here and there. As we get the morning underway, we will have those sunny skies like we have had here lately. Be about the mid 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Then those clouds will increase a bit and temperatures will continue to increase, which we will go over here in just a moment. We'll also have the news you need to know. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're hear about a Michigan teenager that's being praised after jumping in a lake to help save a woman from her car after it crashed into that lake.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The city of Nevada, Missouri is asking voters to decide a half-cent sales tax. The revenue from the sales tax would generate approximately $1 million per year. It would be a permanent change and would fund a new aquatic center for the town, as well as increase the starting salaries for the town police and fire departments. The vote is set for the upcoming primary on August 6th. And the Vernon County Clerk's Office held a forum for sheriff candidates to answer questions. The 3 candidates answered questions about mental health, community safety, crime management, and they had a chance to explain their platform to the attendees. The primaries for this race will also take place on August 6th. The Economic Security Corporation in Joplin is connecting homeless people with helpful resources. The Project Homeless Connect event offers people a chance to get some food, get a haircut, and learn about job and health resources. The Economic Security Corporation also provides utility and housing assistance for residents in need. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, a bit hazy, some patchy fog out there, so be aware of that. We're going to have another near normal day, upper 80s, low 90s, partly cloudy skies, and maybe an isolated shower or storm. Then we'll see clouds actually increasing through the evening and overnight, going mostly cloudy back to 70. And as early as 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll start seeing a few more scattered showers and storms across the area. Go mid 80s. Now again, not everyone will see rain tomorrow, but a lot more of us will. Back to normal on Sunday, and that's it. We are going to start to heat up. We get to the first day of August, and we are in the triple digits out there with more pop-up storm chances. That means higher humidity levels and dew point levels, so could see heat index values 105 or greater next week, so do be prepared for that.
Absolutely, it's going to be hot.
It is.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making easy funnel cakes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. 50 days after the test flight of the Boeing Starliner, 2 NASA astronauts are still stuck in space. We'll explain technical problems which have severely delayed their homecoming.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, the city of Nevada considers a tax increase for a new aquatic center.
And our very own Shannon Becker back in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. However, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.